Hi, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of Grab Your Keys. And we have a originator extraordinaire on with us today. The mortgage industry is very blessed to have Athena Pena. She is, did I say that right? Pena? Pena?
Close.
Whatever.
Kenya. It's an
Pena.
Enya.
Pena. I know I was trying to say it so right that I got it wrong, but that's okay. So Athena's with us today, and she is from the great state of Texas. I'm sure she's licensed in other states, maybe though. So we're going to get all into that. But I love to ask originators first, Athena, how did you get into the mortgage business?
So that is kind of a funny question because I've owned 6 brick and mortar businesses and I've been a graphic designer for 25 years. And we did a refinance on our house. And the first time we did it, the broker was like, "Would you please come work for me?" And I was like, "Not a chance." And then a few years later, we refinanced again. And he was like, "I really need you to work for me because you get your documents in like immediately and no one does that." And of course, at that time, I did not know how rare it was to get documents back.
Now you
So
do.
I was making a big decision between staying at home constantly doing the graphic design behind the computer. And I really hated it being just behind the computer all the time. And I wanted to be out with people, but I was also a homeschool mom. So I had to have that flexibility, but I went ahead and tried it. I said, okay, sure, I'll try it. So I started there and that was just 4 years ago.
That's amazing. And you've had such trajectory in the last 4 years. What makes you love the mortgage industry?
Oh my gosh. Especially these last few days, I've actually experienced this tremendously, but people that don't think they can get a house. It's like when they realize they can get a house, it's just fun. It's really fun to help people because I have all price points, but I try to treat every client, whether high price point or like lately, I've been having these really low loan amounts. And I was just telling my husband, it's a blessing because they're so loyal and they just can't believe they're getting a house.
And you're really paving it forward for them to have generational wealth and build equity and buy a next house if they want to buy the next house. And it does change people's lives. We are truly blessed to be in an industry that we do change people's lives, and making a house a home and then giving them the wherewithal to do something else with it is just fantastic. Giving people keys to their homes is amazing.
Yeah.
That is something that I love. Now, you work at Success Mortgage Partners with me. And so, what makes you love Success Mortgage Partners?
Everything. I absolutely love it. I get teary-eyed when I talk about it because they are truly, I always say they're truly like family. That has always been my slogan with Success. But there's so much more to that I'm just, they provide everything. Like, how did I get into this business new and be a top producer year one? And I 100% attribute that to having the tools, the support, the backing of the company as a whole. I mean, if I need to call the president today, she's my friend. If I need to call one of the CEOs, he's my friend. And I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt, in a crisis, I could call anyone. Or if I just wanted to say, "Hey, how are you today?" And that's just nowhere. I had a small stint with that broker, and then I had a small stint at CMG, seeing just how, a really great mortgage company runs. It's a company, it's a blue suit company, and Success provides, like I said, the tools, the friendships, the culture, the vibe, the support. They will go to bat as far as I want to go. Like, if I want to fight for a file to the very end, they'll just put up with me.
Yes, and it is a culture. And what a lot of people don't understand is, when you want to work someplace, you want to work someplace with people who have a company that has a great culture. And this is a place that definitely has a great culture. What do you feel your 3 keys to success have been over the last 4 years?
So for me, and you know this about me, I'm a Christian, and God is my 100% key to success. And I know a lot of people say you can't just pray and you can't just this or you can't just that, and that's true. You can't just sit around and you do nothing. But God is 100% the person who leads me in my decisions, and He's done a pretty darn good job. He actually was the one that picked Success when I was back and forth. And so, number one, God. Number two, I briefly hit on this earlier. I treat every file with the same determination, whether it's $100,000 loan or $1 million loan, they're going to get the same treatment. And I think that goes really far because it's a bigger picture. Like you're going to have a reputation. And if your reputation is, a snooty person who doesn't treat the other end well, you're going to be known for that. If you're just doing this and you're not, you know what I mean? So that's number two. And then number three is just consistency with pliability. That's a big thing for me. Is like you have to be consistent, but also know that this business is going to always be changing and clients are changing and profiles are changing. And so consistency in my day, but with pliability, because like I said, I was a homeschool mom working full time from home and I could be as consistent as I could be. And then all of a sudden my kid was sick or needed to go to the doctor and I'm still working, but it looked different.
Right. So I think that this is such a fantastic podcast right now to hear from someone who's been in the mortgage business for 4 years. There's so many people that are like, oh my gosh, I haven't had any success. Oh my gosh, how do I get started? Oh my gosh, what do I do first? What do you feel has really led you to that success? If you were going to like say one thing or two things that really gave you that trajectory, besides working at success, what do you feel it has been? And what advice would you give a new loan officer?
So I feel like it's a twofold answer. With consistency has to be there. You have to set a stage for consistency, whether it's in your Outlook calendar, your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, what you're going to do each day and each week. Because when the bottom falls out and your world is chaos, you have to have at least that minimum thing. Like today, I'm going to do this. This is what was on my calendar, and I've been doing this every week. My sanity's out the door. That's what I'm going to do. So I think having consistency is crucial, and I did that from day one. We've had, as you know, we have amazing coaches, and I've had some amazing coaching telling me exactly that. And so I've stuck to that no matter what has happened. And then just understand yourself that you're going to have, like, I've been a top producer since year one, and yet I still, every week or every 2 weeks, I could be killing it. Right now I have 12 contracts in, and tomorrow or last week, I'll feel like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Can I even do this? And I'm already doing it. But it's like those voices in your head are going to come. That doesn't mean quit. It just means
It's like the little devil that says,
yes,
like, you can't do it. It's the little, you have the people saying, give up, don't try, but you have to persevere. Your perseverance is what really made you take every single step and know that you were helping people and being a servant leader in trying to get these people into their homes. And
100%. Yeah, the feelings can't dictate your next step. They just can't.
Absolutely. So determination, consistency, but pliable, and God. I'm a big believer in God or the universe. You have to put out there what you want. You have to pray for what you want. And that's super important because you have to have a positive. I think one of the things you also have is a great positivity. I mean, you're always very positive. And I think that your clients probably see that and know that you're going to go to bat and help them because you're always seeing the glass half full instead of half empty.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's just a non-negotiable.
Yeah,
it has to be. And it's become such a, like, even if it's not your nature initially, if you practice it, I think people can become that because not everyone starts out that way. I've been that way for a lot of years because I had a lot of bad things when I was young happen and I had a lot of losses. And so I had to choose, like, I'm either going to sink or I'm going to rise above it. And to do that, you have to choose it.
Yeah. So do you think that, one of those challenges that you had really shaped who you are today and in having the perseverance?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So for sure. I wasn't raised by either of my biological parents. My dad that raised me was technically my step grandfather, but not before I was born. So he was married to my grandmother before I was born. And then I was born. They didn't have kids. My mom was a musician on the road, and he convinced my grandmother and my mom to give me up, and he took care of me and took me, and we moved to St. Croix. He was my hero, and he got Lou Gehrig's disease when I was 22. He actually got it when I was not 20, but he died when I was 22. And I was living here in Texas with no other family. Like, it was just me because I was an only child. And that was a stepping stone for me. I didn't handle it 100% well at first. That's not long after is when I actually gave my life to Christ, which I believe is why I'm still here. Because whatever I do it really well, 150%. So I was
Mhm.
making a lot of money in sales at the time. I put all my effort into doing stuff. And at the time, we're talking like 1994, I was making 120,000, which
Yeah,
back
that's
then, as a
a lot
22-year-old,
of
was a
money.
lot. Um, but he was always there. Like he was always the you can do it person. Like you can do better. You can do better. So while I don't think you should put that on your kid that they're never accomplishing their best, it did drive me to always want to do better. And as I got older, I navigated what that looks like in the real world, and that you're not always going to be the best, but always give it your best
Right.
and be
Always.
okay with where you land. Yeah.
I love always give it your best, but I think that lots of women are listening to this who have professions, either the mortgage profession or the real estate profession or really any professions. And I love to empower strong women. How do you feel you balanced? I mean, you have a handful of children, and literally, and
Or
so
a litter of children.
yeah. So, how did you handle it? Like you said, you were a stay-at-home mom who worked from home, and now you're still working at home, but in a different capacity. How did you merge those together so that your kids knew that they could do anything they wanted to do?
Um, I've always talked to them about it because in my availability versus unavailability, I always wanted them to know I was there, obviously. So I didn't miss, I mean, they were both ballerinas since they were 2 and 4 in ballet companies. So they were homeschooled, they were ballerinas, they were in musical theater, always had an activity. So I was at every activity and I worked in a creative way outside of those hours. And they knew that I was going to do that to get the best I could done to provide the best I could for them so they could do these things they wanted to do. So it was always a conversation. They knew years ago, if we didn't have money, they knew. I didn't keep it from them.
Hmm.
I know a lot of people and a lot of beliefs are, don't let your kids ever know. But I felt like they needed to know when we were suffering and when we weren't. And I think that helped them because to this day, they are conscious of spending and they'll buy things they want after they've saved up. Like it's shown me that it's been a thing, but they always saw that I wanted to do whatever I was doing. I wanted to do it the best I could. I started out not being as great with them when they were young because I had that perfectionist attitude. And one of my best friends said, "Do you want to do to them what your dad did to you?" Not that he did anything wrong. It was just that I never felt good enough.
Hmm.
So I always wanted to be the best. And there's a fine line there. So as a woman, like I said, you give it your best, knowing that you're not the best. There's always someone better, and that's okay. I'm so much better at it now mentally, but I mean, even with people like you, I still am always like, oh, but I'm not. Well, of course I'm not. I've been doing this for literally, I've only been, I think, commissioned for like 3 years, 3.5 years. So, but I have to be reminded of that sometimes and
Yeah, you
remind myself.
because when you said, "Oh, I was doing this in 1994," in 1994, I was a year into the mortgage business.
Right. Right.
So,
So,
really balance
yeah.
that out, and you
Yeah.
can see,
Yeah.
and you've been in this for 4 years, and you're
Yeah.
killing it, which is amazing.
But
How
I
do you?
think that's hard for women, right? Like if they're high performing women,
Oh,
um,
definitely.
then you're always going to compare yourself to the best person. And it's comparing is the first problem. Like just don't ever compare. Set
I think that
goals.
that's hard for women not to
Yeah.
compare. I mean,
Yeah.
when people come up to me and say, "Oh my gosh, like how do you do it or what do you do?" I always say that everybody's different. Like
Right.
everyone walks their path.
Right.
And as and if we're in this mortgage industry, most of the time we're type A
Right.
personalities
Yes.
and big personalities. So we need to reel that in a little bit, rein that in. I guess I should say a little bit. That's a good Texas phrase. Got the
Yes. Right.
reining it in.
Yeah.
So and helping other women is super important. I mean, helping, and that's why I love helping women get into houses because that really does make a difference when you know where you're living, when you know where your home is, where you know where you're going home to bed every night is.
Yes.
And there's a sense of security in that too.
Yes,
So
I've done a couple. Women have been some of the greatest. You end up with a relationship, of course, but especially going through a divorce or something like that, where it's a really trying time, and then getting to get them a house when they just didn't even think they would be able to, and it's really cool, you know.
And I think it's really cool when you've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations that you have that empathy for those clients. And when they see that you have empathy for them, they open up more. So that you can say, look, I've been through that divorce. I've been through, that hardship, even if you haven't had a divorce. Like I've been through that hardship. I've been through this. I've had kids. I know what it's like to be, torn between your kids and your work. So I understand that. And I think that that's showing a piece of God in you to have that compassion, to make them understand that you have empathy and you see them.
Yeah, it's a gift. It's a gift to get to do it. And my story, I have done everything in life, so good, bad, and indifferent. So I probably have something to relate that I've done wrong or right to just about everyone. So,
which I think is paving the success that you've had, because the realtors see, and the people who are referring you see that you have that, servant leader heart and want to like help help others. And that you're going to go to bat for them every single time.
Yeah, I have some amazing realtors. I mean, they're just amazing women. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is one
and
piece
men,
of
and men.
And men, yeah, men. So what's one piece of advice that you use all the time?
Don't give up and get creative. Like, don't give up so easy. People give up so easy. And then get creative. Like if it's to a realtor or a loan officer or someone looking to buy a house, don't give up so easy. And then let's get creative. I mean, for me, it's just being in this business for a short period of time. I have seen, because I get save the deals or referrals, and it's, this person couldn't do it. And it's, I just don't, I think you can almost always do it. Very rarely. Like I could barely tell you where I've ever had to tell maybe less than 5 people ever, like, we're just not going to be able to do it right now. But I never would say, you're not going to be able to do it. It's just maybe not right now. Let's keep doing this for the next 3 months and 6 months. But don't give up so easy.
Yeah,
I tell that to everyone. I tell even my husband when we're like, if we're in an argument or something, and he's just like, okay. I'm like, don't give up so easy. Like, don't do it.
Let's work our way through this. Let's
that was me.
Yeah. So, if you could mentor your younger self, what advice would you share with that younger self?
Something I think about all the time, because I'm in my 50s now, and there's just some things you can't start, like some journeys in life. Most things you can, but there's just some things you can't. So I've always said for probably the last 20 years, don't choose your life. Don't let your life choose you.
Oh, I love
because I've done amazing things. I've flown small planes. I've had, like I said, 6 brick and mortar businesses. I've competed in bodybuilding, fitness. I owned a fitness center, like all kinds of things I've done. But they were really a product of what I was doing at that time in my life. So someone I was dating, or where I moved because of a boyfriend. I mean, like, it really was driven by my life was directing my choices. And then I made the best of whatever that was. I wish that I would have seen that. And because I wanted to move years ago, I wanted to move to Paris. It was way before the internet. I had to do research like online. There was no online, like on the phone, trying to find a flat and stuff like that. And then I met someone, and then I just didn't go. And I look back at all of those kind of decisions, and I'm like, well, that was dumb. But the picture of it, and I try to teach my kids, is choose your life. Otherwise, it will choose you, good or bad.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
In the world becoming more automated and AI driven, what will always matter most? Like, how do you see that evolving in the mortgage industry right now?
I actually been using AI to research that topic because it's of interest, and it's inevitable. It's further along. Like, actually, we got a really great piece from Tony Jury the other day, and I read the whole thing. And it's the human. You can't take the human out of this business. You can take the everything, even the pre-approval, you can take from from the time they give you the application pretty far, but you
Mm-hmm.
can't take that initial comfort. There'll always be people who don't care and go online, fill out an application. They don't ever, but most people and people that have been through any kind of trauma in life, which is almost everybody on the planet, they need a connection with somebody, a human being. And I feel like that's where we have this security in this business, in insurance and real estate. Like there's just things that at the end of the day, it's the human. So I'm not afraid of the AI
Yeah,
in our
I think you
industry
should need to use it to be
for
to be
sure.
better at your job.
There's so much it can do. It to
So
help us. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
much. I don't even know if I know how to write an email anymore, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
And that's the scary part, but we'll leave that.
Yeah, I was like, I need to write this email myself, so I still have my hands in it. So,
Oh, wait, let me tell you one little thing about that, because
yeah,
that's been my big thing. Is like, oh my gosh, we're going to dumb ourselves down so much that we can't think straight. But I had this epiphany yesterday because I was doing something with AI, and I got done, and I was able to get a whole lot more stuff on my list of things, done. And I was getting ready for bed or something. I was like, I felt good, and I felt like not stressed, and I felt complete. And I realized that if done right, I used it to get specific tasks done. I had the ability to get the other things I needed to do done, and I felt not so overwhelmed. So it was a benefit. I was like, I don't want to forget this because it did benefit.
and it's using it to your benefit. It's really, how do you plug this in so that you are working smarter and not harder?
Right.
And that's
Right.
what we really need to become efficient in. And I needed to do some sort of Excel spreadsheet the other day, and we put it into some sort of AI, and the whole thing automated it, and it was it was exactly what I needed. And I think it had 1,500, people, like different columns on it that needed to be sorted the way I wanted it sorted, and it got done. And that would have taken a lot of manual time, but because I was able to put what was from my brain into the little spaces that say what I wanted, the blank space, the big blank space, and it just did it. And that's just, and as I said, the manually would have taken for a day. It would have taken a day. And you can then use that to be more productive somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I totally agree. If we fast forward 3 years, what will you be most proud of to be celebrating?
So we collectively, my husband and I, because we do have 8 kids, and we have 5 grandkids, and they're all over. So we travel like crazy.
I said, like a dozen.
Yes, we have Air Force and Navy, and like they're just everywhere. And so my immediate dream goal board is to have 3 different houses, one maybe an apartment, whatever, 3 different places that we can go stay, but also that our kids, like military kids, if they want to go on a little vacation, they can just go and stay and enjoy. And it would be something that our whole family can use, but in 3 different places. So that's a big thing I've wanted for years. My grandmother's house, she passed away. She was my favorite person on the planet and passed away in 2018. And I want to buy her house back. It's in California. And then 2 other houses. And that's one. And then on the giving side, I have always wanted to have some kind of foster homes that are actual houses, not these big places that are terrible, but like foster homes in different cities where actual humans that love the children like a family are there, small environments, and just have them all over. Like that's a really cool thing to me. So
that is really cool.
That would be neat. So 3 years, I don't know, but definitely 10, 7, I don't know. It depends. My goal this year is a whole lot more than it was last year. So we'll see.
Yeah. Step by step every year, right? Step by step every year. And I love, thank you for your children's service. That's amazing that they're out there really protecting us and being great veterans and citizens. And I know that, we always want our children to be raised to be great citizens, and you definitely have done that. So that's something that we need to, definitely tip our hats to. So it is very important. But I think that you have given so much today, and I'm so thankful that you've been on here. I mean, you really are so impressive to have started 4 years ago, and with everything, your whole life experience. Every time I talk to you, I'm always like, I just want more of Athena. I just want more of her. So I can't thank you enough for being on Grab Your Keys with me today. You really have given everyone listening so much to take away from this. So if you guys didn't get a lot of nuggets, you were not listening. You need to re-listen, and you have a lot of takeaways from Athena, and I totally appreciate it. But remember, everybody, like, subscribe, share. We're definitely here to help everyone grow their businesses. So Athena, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. I love you, my friend. Thank you.
Love you too. And everyone, thank you so much for listening to Grab Your Keys. See you next time.
Bye.